Jeepers Creepers is a monster flick that came out in 2001 and was directed by Victor Salva. And yeah, we should probably talk about that later on in this video. The film stars Justin Long and Gina Phillips as they play a brother and sister who's traveling along a highway, and while they're trying to get home for spring break, they are attacked by this guy driving a truck. Earlier in the film, they see that this guy was dumping a body down a pipe, and when they go to investigate, they find out that it's actually much more than just a crazy guy on the road. It's actually something more evil and sinister. And as you watch the film, you become to realize that this is actually a monster thriller. And I really enjoyed this film. And I know there's a lot of controversy that is surrounding it. And let's talk about that real quick. So this film was directed by Victor Salva, and I know about his past. And it's very disgusting, and it's not something that I want anything to happen to anyone, like, ever, as a child. I will say that I do enjoy this movie. I don't like the guy, I just like the movie. I also happen to be a fan of Justin Long. I enjoyed him in this, I enjoyed him in Live Free or Die Hard. I enjoy him in the new Netflix series F is for Family. So it's not just I'm watching this for Victor Salva. There's a lot of reasons why I'm watching this movie. I like the movie itself, I like the chemistry between the brother and sister, and I like the score too. This movie has a really good score for a horror film, and not a whole lot of horror films kind of use this score, where it's very symphony-based, and I really think that it helped a lot with this film. I should probably also mention that this film was the first film that I saw that made me not want to go to sleep. This was that film where, you know, when we grow up as kids and we watch scary movies, there's that one scary movie where we watch it and we can't go to sleep at night and we're constantly thinking about it. This was that movie. We rented it from a video rental store and we had no idea what this was about. We were just getting random movies. We got, I don't know, Wrong Turn. We rented the Halloween 3 movie, which actually isn't really even a Halloween movie. And we rented Jeepers Creepers. And I think it was because we had no idea what this movie was about. I think that's another reason why I was so affected by it, because it was something that I wasn't aware of going in. And I was 8 at the time when I saw this movie, and it's scary. It's a really scary movie, and it got under my skin. Like I said, the chemistry between the brother and sister in this movie is really good, actually. I think they did an amazing job with the chemistry and building these characters and working together in trying to figure out what's going on and why this guy is after them. And it's kind of makes it more scarier because you kind of feel for these characters. You want them to get home. They're just traveling to go back home for spring break. And with that kind of background story, you feel for these characters. You want them to get home. They're just traveling down a highway and this guy just decides to run them off the road. And it's actually pretty scary for the most part. If this wasn't a creature movie, and it was just based on a guy running people down the road, I feel as though this movie could have been, like, still scary. But knowing that they kind of added this horror aspect to the movie, kind of adds to it. It's just so creepy that there could be, like, this creature, like, on a highway, like, that isn't heavily populated, like, taking people that are just trying to get home. It's really scary stuff. And I can tell what they were trying to do with this movie. They were trying to kind of make their own horror icon, really. But they were trying to also kind of modernize it a little bit, because this guy does a lot of stuff in this movie. He does, like, acrobats and he jumps over cars and stuff. So I really appreciated that it wasn't your conventional Jason Voorhees walking really slowly. They tried to actually modernize it and tried to make a horror icon for this generation. And let's talk about the creeper itself, the Jeepers Creepers creature. Wow, that sounded weird. This thing is so interesting. Like I said, this scared me a lot as a kid, but as an adult, I appreciate it a little bit more. It's kind of weird because I watched the movie a lot more than I did as a kid, because I guess as an adult, you kind of appreciate something from the past that scared you, and maybe because it had that impact on you as a kid, you appreciate it a little bit more. I really like this creature a lot. It's so interesting because it's not just a creature, it's also a guy. It's a guy that's running people off the highway. It's got knives, it's got weapons, and it's just a scary dude. But also, it's a creature. It's something that eats other people's body parts and grows those said body parts in order to sustain life. And I thought that was a really interesting concept, that this was a creature that couldn't be killed. So it was just, it was scary. It was very interesting as well. And I like how they tried to add, like, this mythology to it, where, like, every 23 years for 23 days, it rises. So it kind of adds, like, this thing, like, oh god, like, it's not going to stop for the next 23 days. I thought that was a really cool aspect of the film, and I think it just adds to it. There is a portion of the film where it tries to add, like, this psychic aspect, where they meet up with a psychic, and the psychic is trying to tell them, like, hey, this thing is after you. listen to me, this is what's going on. I think some people think that they could have done without that portion of the film, but I think it just adds on to, this is a scary movie, this is a horror film, this is what they were going for. And is it cheesy? Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but, you know, it's, like I said, it's a horror film. This came out in like 2001. I mean, this is a film about a guy where you hear the Jeepers Creepers song and he's around. Like, how does he manipulate a song where if you hear Jeepers Creepers, the guy's around? How does that happen? So I think there's just like this kind of scary movie vibe to it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's just a scary movie. It just kind of adds on to this mythos that this is a creature, this is a scary movie monster. And like I said, guys, I just want to get it out of the way because I know I'm probably going to cause a lot of controversy. I do like this movie, but that doesn't mean I like the director. I think the director and what he did in the past is like disgusting. It's actually like kind of bothers me that I like this movie because he directed it. But that's how art works. Like, if you like know of someone who makes something and you appreciate that art, you can just appreciate the art. But if you don't like the artist, that's totally fine. I kind of look at it like this, like Chris Brown hit Rihanna, but Chris Brown, like, you know, we still listen to his music because he's got a nice voice. You don't have to like the guy, but you can like his art. It's just a weird situation. Like, whatever you feel about the situation is totally fine, and if you don't want to watch his movies because of that, I totally understand, and I totally somewhat agree with you. But for this, and for it being a part of my childhood and scaring me a lot, that's the reason why I like it. I don't like it because it was directed by a guy who did a terrible thing. I like it because of the performances, I like it because of the score, I like it because it's a movie that's trying to make another horror icon, and that's the reason why I like it. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. So yes, guys, that was my review of Jeepers Creepers. Look forward to my review of Jeepers Creepers 2 and Jeepers Creepers 3. It's coming out tomorrow. I really appreciate it, guys. Comment down below what you think of Jeepers Creepers. If you've seen it, like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, gaming content, pop culture stuff, and so on. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.